Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is October 23rd, and the AL and NLCS series are coming down to the end here, and we've got to recap all of the great baseball that was played. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? It is Monday. I hope you guys had wonderful weekends. I hope your football team won yesterday, if you follow that. But we are not talking about football. We talk baseball here, and we've got 7 games to go over. The AL and NLCSs we thought were going to be sweeps, quick game 5 series. Nope, we've got ourselves a handful of great ball games, and we have 2 series still without a winner, although that's going to be decided today and possibly tomorrow. Gonna do things a little bit differently, unlike previous episodes where I've done it by series to series. We're gonna do things chronologically, so we're gonna start with Wednesday game, and then hit up Thursday, Friday, so on and so on. That way we have kind of the flow of how you would have been watching it without an episode by me here. So we're gonna do things starting with Wednesday and go forward. I just kind of like it, so we'll do it like that. So yeah, let's get started with the Wednesday game here. And on Wednesday, we had one ball game, ALCS Game 3 between the Astros and the Rangers. The Rangers come home after taking the first 2 games on the road in Houston, and they have Max Scherzer back on the mound for the first time since September 12th. He's pitching against Javier in this game. Top of the second, the bases are loaded. Nobody is out for the Astros, and a wild pitch from Scherzer scores the first run of this game. And then on the very next pitch, it's down the middle. Maldonado was the batter. He drills it down the line. 2 runners come in to score, and then as he was trying to get second, he gets out to end get out there. 3-0 Houston. Then top 3, very next inning, it's Jose Altuve who hits a solo shot. That makes it 4-0 Astros. Very next inning again, top 4, and it's Mauricio Dubon with an RBI single. He scores Jose Abreu. It's 5-0 Astros. Then in the bottom of the 5th, the Rangers finally get to Javier. Nathaniel Lau, he gets a base hit, and then it's the rookie Josh Young, a 2-run shot. That gets Texas on the board, 5-2. We have a couple great plays then. Leody Taveras, he robs Yordan Alvarez of a home run. And then later on, Michael Brantley makes a beautiful running catch to save a run in the 6th inning. We move now to the top of the 7th. 2 outs, the bases are loaded with Yordan up, looking to do damage. And he hits a liner off the end of the bat from Will Smith. That would fall into shallow center. 2 runners score, and it's 7-2 Astros. In the bottom of the 7th, we have deja vu as Nathaniel Lau gets on with a base hit, and then it's Josh Young again, single-handedly putting up all the runs for Texas. A 2-run home run sends it just over the wall, and that makes it a 7-4 game. The Astros do get a run back in the top of the 8th. A base hit from Jeremy Pena scores a run to make it 8-4. Dos Garcia with an RBI single in the bottom of the 8th. He makes it a 3-run game again. And then Ryan Presley comes on. He locks down the game, saves it, and the Astros get their first win of the series. They take it 8-5, and the series is now 2-1 Texas. Javier was great. He's been a postseason impressor since the last 2 seasons. He is great in the postseason, and he was great today. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, the 2 earned runs on the home run, 1 walk and 3 Ks. Max Scherzer, we knew that he was going to be held back, and he didn't have his best stuff coming off of injury. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts for him. Astros make it a series as we head to the next game on Thursday. we have now game 4 for the ALCS, and the Astros attack quickly in this one as we have a double by Altuve, a single by Dubon, and then a triple from Alex Bregman. 2 runners come in to score. The Astros break out and jump to a 2-0 lead before an out is even made, and then Alvarez is up. He singles up the middle. That scores Bregman 3-0, and Heaney's night would come to an end soon after that as Dunning has to come out in relief in the first inning. The bases were loaded, 2 outs. And he comes in and he strikes out Maldonado to keep the damage at 3, but the Astros get an early strike. Bottom 2 is Garcia, and he leads off the inning with a solo shot. That makes it a 3-1 ball game. Later in the inning, Josh Young gets a sac fly. That brings in another run, and it's a 1-run game now here. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, and it's Corey Seager. He gets on a high fastball and takes it to center field. A solo shot ties the game up at 3. Now we go to the top of the 4th. The Astros have the bases loaded, no outs. Dane Dunning gets Bregman to strike out, which would end his night as Yordan Alvarez comes up. Texas makes the move, and Dunning leaves this one. Yordan hits the ball to deep right center, but it dies at the trike. It is still good for a sac fly as the Astros get back in front. But the next batter is Jose Abreu, and he sends the ball to deep left field, and that one is gone. A 3-run shot from Jose Abreu makes it a 4-run inning and a 4-run lead for Houston as they lead it 7-3. Now to the top of the 7th, and it's Chaz's time as he sends one to left field, and that leaves the yard. A 2-run shot from Chaz McCormick makes it 9-3 Astros. Top 8, Yordan Alvarez still doing damage, and he adds one more after a triple from Jose Altuve. The base hit from Alvarez scores him, and that makes it a 10-3 game. The Astros make sure Texas is held quietly in this one. They win it 10-3 and even up the series at 2. And wasn't the greatest pitchers of all time. Jose Urquidy was on a short leash, but even he was struggling to get up the 2 home runs. He went 2 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 K. But Heaney, on the other hand, was worse as the starter. Not even in innings pitched, 2/3 of an innings pitched. Gave up 4 hits, including a walk, 3 earned runs, and no strikeouts there. Dane Dunning was really impressive in this game in relief. 2 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks. And then Hunter Brown, one of Houston's starters who's been moved to the bullpen for the postseason, he was great in relief, going 3 innings of work, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 2 Ks, being a part of helping Texas offense die in this game. Altuve was great, 3 for 4, a single, a double, a home run, 3 runs for him. Yordan Alvarez was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Great day all in all for Houston. They tie up the series and even it up. And also on Thursday, we have our NLCS Game 3 as we flip now to Phillies and Diamondbacks. And we've got Brandon Pfaadt and Ranger Suarez on the bumps, and they were dealing early in this game. Brandon Pfaadt had 6 strikeouts through the first 3 innings of this game. I did not see that coming. And we had 6 clean innings for both teams in this one, but in the top of the 7th with runners at first and second, no outs, Bryson Stott hits into a double play, moving the runner to third, but getting 2 outs in the process is the Diamondbacks. The next batter is JT Realmuto, and a slider gets away from Ryan Thompson, which brings in Harper to score on a wild pitch for the first run of this game. But the Diamondbacks answer right away in the bottom of the 7th. A base hit from Tommy Pham. Alek Thomas comes in to pinch run. And then Lourdes Gurriel Jr. sends the ball down the line, the left field line, And the speed from Alec Thomas allows him to score all the way from first, and this game is tied up at 1. In the top of the ninth, after some good at-bats, Paul Sewald manages the inning and gets to hold Philly, which brings us to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 1. A leadoff walk to Gurriel. He steals second base. Pavin Smith with an infield single moves him to third, so runners are at the corners, no outs. Emmanuel Rivera hits one to short. Turner throws home to get Gurriel, trying to win it for the first out of the inning. Then Geraldo Perdomo walks, and that would load the bases with 1 out for Ketel Marte, who hits the ball into center for a base hit as Ketel Marte walks it off for the D-backs, their first win of the series, and they beat the Phillies 2-1 in this game. What a game it was. What a win for the Diamondbacks, and what a moment for Marte. Brandon Pfaadt, the rookie, was incredible. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 9 strikeouts, a career high for him. He never got 9 in the regular season this year. It's his rookie year, and he was dominant in what could be his most important game he's ever pitched in so far. Ranger Suarez was great as well. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 Ks for Suarez, not known for racking up the Ks. Together, they had gone 11 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 16 Ks. So Pfaadt and Suarez were excellent, and Marte was great too. 3 for 5, the walk-off hit, and he is on a 12-game postseason hitting streak to start his postseason career. He's only played in 12 games up to this point, and he's gotten a hit in each single one. What a game there in Arizona, and what a day for Thursday as we flip now to Friday, where we start with Game 4 of the NLCS, and we've got kind of bullpen days here as it's Joe Mantiply as the opener for Arizona versus Carlos Sanchez, who gets the start for Philly. Top of the second, it's Real Muto who puts a drive into 1, but Lourdes Gurriel is there to make a fantastic running catch to end the inning. The Diamondbacks strike first in this one in the bottom of the second with 2 outs and runners on the corners. Emmanuel Rivera shoots one up the middle for the first run of this game. Marte gets a hit, extending his hit streak to 13 straight postseason games, which he's ever been played in. And then after stealing second base and getting over to third on a ground ball, it's Gabriel Moreno who gets a hit down the right field side. That scores Marte for the second run in this game. In the third inning here. Now in the top of the fourth, it's time for a Schwarber bomb as he gets Philly on the board with a solo shot. 2-1 ball game now. Marsh doubles in a run in the 5th inning. That would tie the game as Realmuto scores from second on that double there. So 2-2, we enter the 6th inning. The Phillies with the bases loaded and nobody out on 3 straight walks. Alec Boehm coming up to the dish, and he hits one weakly to third. Rivera gets it, a jump throw home, but the ball jumps on Moreno, gets away from him, allowing Turner to score also on the play. The Phillies get 2 runs and take a 4-2 lead. Turner would add a run later in the 7th inning with a sac fly that would score Rojas and make it a 5-2 game. Then bottom 7, the Diamondbacks with the bases loaded and 2 outs with Walker up, and like the name suggests, Kerkering walks him with the bases loaded. That scores a run for the Diamondbacks, but then gets Pavin Smith to ground out to limit the damage. So 5-3, we enter the bottom of the 8th with a runner on. Alec Thomas comes on to pinch hit, and he hits one to deep right center. Back goes Castellanos and splash into the pool. A game-tying 2-run home run from Alec Thomas. What a swing from him. A moment he will never live down. It's a 5-5 game in the 8th inning. And then after that, Marte and Carroll both reach with 2 outs. Jose Alvarado on the mound to Moreno, and he hits one to left center. That one falls. Marte will score from second. The D-backs have scored 3 runs in the inning and have taken the lead to come back in this one. Paul Sewald comes in, strikes out the first 2 batters, then gives up a double to Schwarber, but then gets Turner to strike out as he strikes out the side, and the D-backs with a late come from behind win. They even up the series at 2, and they win it 6-5. What a game for the Diamondbacks! This is what we're getting now at postseason baseball. These are the types of games, down to the last innings, 1-run games, game-tying home runs in the 8th off of Kimbrel. What a game this was. Both teams used 8 pitchers in this one each, a combined 16. The pitcher that went the longest was Carlos Sanchez, the Philly starter. He went 2 1/3 innings pitched. 6 of the 16 pitchers didn't even get a full inning of work, either getting only 1 out or 2 outs, but not even getting a full 3 outs. Lots of pitchers were used up in this game here, but Arizona ties the series up 2-2. Now moving on, we have the ALCS Game 5 on this Friday night here, and the Astros once again getting the early jump. Third batter of the game, it's Alex Bregman. He hits one deep off of Montgomery for a solo shot. An early Astros lead, 1-0. We would stay scoreless from that point on until the bottom of the 5th. It's Nathaniel Lau who shoots one oppo down the left field line and has just enough to sneak out of here. A solo shot home run off of Verlander that ties this game up at 1. The Astros would get the lead back in the next inning as there was runners on the corners, 1 out, and Abreu sends a bullet to short. It ends up eating Seager and ends up in center field. That scores a run. Then with the bases loaded and 2 outs, Pena sends one up the middle, but Simeon makes a diving stop and throws it on to first to get him out and limit the damage to 1 as he saves 2 runs from scoring with a great defensive play. Bottom of the 6th now, 1 out, Seager doubles, and Evan Carter gets a base hit to get the runners on the corners, and for Adolis Garcia, who sends a ball to deep left, and that leaves the yard, and Adolis Garcia pimps the hell out of it with a bat slam and a slow trot around the bases. A huge go-ahead 3-run home run from Garcia makes it 4-2 Texas. Bottom of the 8th, and we've got fireworks now. Brian Abreu comes into the game. He walks Carter, and then first pitch hits Garcia with a 99-mile-per-hour heater up at his shoulder, and Garcia gets straight into the face of Maldonado. The bench is clear, and we get into a huge scuffle. After peace was finally restored, we found out Adolis Garcia, Brian Abreu, as well as Dusty Baker were all ejected from the game, and Dusty Baker was not happy about it. Texas couldn't add on, so we head to the 9th. Last hope for Houston as they were down 2. Yanier Diaz leads it off with a hit, and then John Singleton comes to pinch hit, and he walks on a full count to get runners on first and second with nobody out, which brings up the bad man in Jose Altuve, and on the second pitch of the at-bat, he hits this one high and deep to left field, and it just gets over the glove of Carter for a go-ahead 3-run home run, which flips the game and series upside down. A huge moment in the series as Altuve beats Leclerc, but we aren't done yet, as in the bottom of the 9th, Texas gets their first 2 runners on with nobody out. Simeon lines one out to short, and an amazing catch by Kessinger. Seager then flies out to center for the second out, and then Ryan Presley strikes out Evan Carter to end it. What was the best game of this postseason thus far? What a game. The Astros move one win away from a third straight AL title and a trip to the World Series as they come to Texas and win all 3 games on the road. They take a 3-2 series lead back home and they win this one 5-4. What a game. Justin Verlander was good. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Jordan Montgomery, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. And what a day Friday was, man. I mean, it's the first time in postseason history where multiple teams overcame a multi-run deficit to win in the 8th inning or later. It was just 2 great ball games won by the Astros and the Diamondbacks. You had a bench clearing. I mean, it really, after Friday with the Thursday walk-off by Marte and then the Friday these 2 come from behind games, it really is starting to like feel like magical postseason baseball with like memories being made, and it's not just, you know, sweeps and easy wins and one team overpowering another. What a day. We're talking about series that were 2-0. Now it's, you know, 2-2, 3-2. Like, we have series on our hands. What a day Friday was. Brian Abreu was suspended by Major League Baseball for 2 games for quote-unquote intentionally throwing at Garcia, and he is appealing that suspension. This is what I have to say about that. I don't know if it was intentional at 99 up and in. It's where you would throw to Garcia, high fastballs, you know. Obviously, Astros were probably not happy with how Garcia pimped the 3-run home run. A slow trot around the bases is usually disliked and viewed poorly. But, I mean, it's a 2-run game. You just walked the first batter. You know, in the situation, it's kind of stupid to hit him. You know, if that's what they were doing, I always disagree with that. I never like intentionally throwing at players. I never like to see players get hurt off of something like that. You can be upset, you can start a fight, but I don't think, you know, as a pitcher with the ball in your hand, throwing at the batter, it never leads to anything positive, never leads to anything good. I'm 100% against that, but I'm just not convinced that Abreu intentionally threw at Garcia. I can 100% see how people think that, and if it is true, like, I could understand it being true. I just don't know in that situation, only down 2 runs in Game 5, right? You know, it was a huge game at that point, and Texas winning that could have been the series, you know, making a difference. You know, Altuve's 3-run home run wouldn't have mattered if they had gotten some runs. You know, luckily they didn't. You know, Houston did get out of the inning, but at the same time, I don't know if you want to put the first 2 runners on with nobody out purposely, right? Like, it didn't make sense to throw at him. If that's what he did, I don't like. I'm against Abreu in that situation, but I don't know if that was purpose or not. So we'll see how that appeal goes. He was available for Game 6, which we'll talk upon on Sunday, but he was not did not pitch in that game. So we'll see how his suspension goes from there. But that was Friday, and what a Friday it was. So now for Saturday, we've got 1 game on the docket as the ALCS takes a travel day to head back to Houston. We have NLCS Game 5 between the Diamondbacks and the Phillies, an important one because whoever wins this one will get the chance to end the series in Game 6. And we have a Zach Gallen and Zach Wheeler rematch on the bump. Top of the first, the Phillies strike early with hits from Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, and then a single from Bryson Stott scores Schwarber for the first run of the game. The next batter, Stott tries stealing second. Moreno throws over. He stops running, and here comes Harper. The throw back to the plate. Harper runs through Moreno, and he is on the ground and in pain. Remember, in the wild card series, Moreno had already been in concussion protocol when he got into some head problems with the Brewers on a backswing that hit him on the back of the head. Regardless of all that, he would stay in the game, and Harper did end up scoring that run. So it is 2-0 Philly in the first inning, and it would stay like that until the sixth inning, where Kyle Schwarber leads it off with a high drive to right field. A home run from him makes it 3-0. It's his fifth home run of the NLCS. Kyle Schwarber has been on a tear. After Turner gets out, it's Harper's turn now as he drives a ball to right field. Another solo shot home run in the inning. That makes it 4-0, 2 home runs in the last 3 batters. Alex Thomas now, he leads off the 7th with a home run to right field. That gets the Diamondbacks on the board and makes it a 3-run game. But then in the top of the 8th, with 2 outs and a runner on, Real Muto hits one high and down the left field line. That one leaves the yard. It's a 2-run shot from JT Real Muto, and it makes it a 5-run game. Ketel Marte gets a hit in the 8th inning to bring his streak to 14, 1 away from tying the record. But in the end, the Phillies hold on and take Game 5. They take a 3-2 series lead back home, 1 win away from back-to-back NL titles as they win it 6-1. Zach Wheeler, impressive again as he has been. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks. And Zach Gallen, despite being on the losing end, wasn't awful. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 1 K. Kyle Schwarber ties the Phillies franchise record for the most home runs in a single postseason series with 5. Could he break it with 1 more home run? And I mean, I just want to go back quickly and talk about kind of Harper and Schwarber. The most home runs in NL for teams in the last 2 postseasons. The Phillies right now lead it with 47. The Diamondbacks are in second with 16. Then the Padres from last year are at 15. And then Harper and Schwarber are tied for 11. And then you have the Braves with 8, and then the Dodgers, Mets, Brewers, Cardinals, less than 5. These last 2 postseasons, Harper and Schwarber, each with 11 home runs. That's 5. They've beaten 5 teams alone. The Braves with 8, and the Dodgers, Mets, Brewers, Cardinals, all less than 5. A crazy stat: Harper and Schwarber, they hit the ball. They've had 2 great postseason runs, and they're hoping to extend it to a World Series once again. But that was your Saturday game there. Phillies head home with a 3-2 series lead. Okay, one last day to go over. It's Sunday, and it's Game 6 of the ALCS. The Astros back at home looking to move on, and we have the Framber versus Eovaldi rematch. And once again, the Astros strike early in the first. Alvarez gets a base hit, and that scores Altuve 1-0 Houston in the first. But Texas ties it right away in the top of the second. A leadoff home run from Mitch Garver makes it 1-1. Now later on in the top of the fourth with a runner on, it's the Rangers' other catcher, Jonah Heim, who hits one to right field and just gets inches over Tucker, and I mean inches from robbing the home run. But it does leave a 2-run shot from Jonah Heim. That makes it 3-1 Texas. Later on, it's Dubon with a sac fly in the 6th inning. That brings the Astros back within 1. Garver gets some insurance in the top of the 8th with an RBI double. That makes it a 4-2 game. The Astros get the bases loaded with 1 out in their half of the 8th. Dubon lines out to Seager, and then Jose Leclerc. What a battle it was versus John Singleton. But in the end, Leclerc K's Singleton to end the threat and keep Texas up 2. In the 9th, the bases are loaded, so Ryan Stanek comes in trying to hold the damage here. But on the second pitch into his relief appearance, he hits Corey Seager to force in a run and make it 5-2. And then the next batter is Adolis Garcia, who was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in this one up to this point. But this time, he crushes one over the Crawford boxes. A grand slam leaves an exclamation mark in this game. Adolis Garcia, it's his 3rd straight game with a home run, and Texas wins this one 9-2, and we are heading to a do-or-die Game 7 in the Battle of Texas right now. Eovaldi was good again, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Framber Valdez, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. So a little bit of a better performance from Valdez there. And then Mitch Garver, what a day for him. He was 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, 2 runs, of course the home run. And Texas has made it a Game 7 series here, and it's going to be the first Game 7 we have since 2020, where both the AL and NLCSs that year went to Game 7 between the Rays and Houston and the Dodgers and the Braves. So we had 2 full postseasons without a Game 7, and now we've got one here between these 2 teams. So, when it comes down to the Astros and Rangers series, the Rangers and Astros have won all of their games on the road. No home team has won a series yet. And for the Phillies and Diamondbacks, it was almost the reverse thing, with the home team always winning the games, except for Game 5. Philly is the only team so far in the championship series who have won a game both at home and on the road. The Diamondbacks have only won at home. Houston and Texas have only won on the road. So if Houston wants to go to the World Series, they're going to have to break that today with a Game 7 win. Right now, I just want some food for thought, some facts, and some stats that I've been seeing that I wanted to discuss. Starting off with Framber Valdez, I don't know what happened to him this postseason. Last postseason, he pitched 25 innings and gave up 4 earned runs for an ERA of 1.44. So far in this postseason, he's pitched 12 innings and has given up 12 earned runs, an ERA of 9. Framber has, had an awful postseason, really. When you think of last year, what he did, 25 innings, 4 earned runs, he has less innings pitched and triple the amount of runs given up. So it's not been a great postseason for Framber. I want to look at some of the relief pitchers now, some of the closers that we've been seeing, and some of the dominant arms from this postseason. And I want to talk about Paul Sewald and Ryan Presley, the first 2 here. These guys have been the most dominant in my mind. Sewald, in 6 games, he has 5 saves. He has a win, 6 innings pitched, only given up 3 hits. He hasn't given up a run. He's walked 1, hit 2 batters, and has 9 Ks, an ERA of 0. He's been great for the Diamondbacks. And Ryan Presley, he's been here before. He knows what he has to do. In 5 games pitched, he has 3 saves. He has a win, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, 10 Ks, no earned runs, an ERA of 0. He's been great. The Phillies, they've been kind of using 2 guys. One is more as their save guy, and one is their best reliever. Jose Alvarado is their best reliever. 7 games, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Hasn't given up a run. He's been great. Craig Kimbrel, on the other hand, he's had a kind of a rough series against Arizona here, giving up that home run to Thomas, blowing a save. He is in 6 games for him. He has 3 saves. He's 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 hit by pitch, 4 walks, and 3 Ks. An ERA of 7.2. It has not been a great go of things for Kimbrel. Brian Abreu, and he has pitched 8 games with Houston, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, the 1 hit by pitch to Garcia that caused him to be suspended, 2 walks, but he struck out 13 batters. His stuff has been filthy, getting hitters to K like that. His ERA of 2.45. And then lastly, Jose Leclerc, who I thought, deserved a lot of love. He's pitched in 9 games for Texas. He's pretty much pitched in almost every single game Texas has played. 3 saves for him. He has a loss. 9 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 walks, 9 Ks, an ERA of 3.86. But yeah, I just want to mention some of those names quickly. Sewell and Presley, dominant. Kimbrel, Leclerc. Leclerc, even though being in a lot of games, he hasn't been perfect. But those are some pitching stuff there. Home runs, Adolis Garcia, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Nicholas Castellanos, all 4 of them have 5 home runs in this postseason. Yordan Alvarez beating them with 6 as he leads the teams here. And Yordan Alvarez has been the best hitter of this postseason out of the teams remaining. He has the highest average of 436, the 6 home runs. He's 17 for 39, 2 doubles, 14 RBIs, 12 runs. He's walked 3 times. Leads the league in OPS, 1.426. He's been incredible. Speaking of incredible, Ketel Marte, that 14-game postseason hitting streak. He has a hit in every postseason game he's played in. And he could tie the record tonight with a hit and could overtake it tomorrow if the Diamondbacks win and force that Game 7. But yeah, just some food for thought there for some stats. All right, last thing on the agenda here is to talk about the games left. And today is the last day of the season that there'll be more than one baseball game, regardless of what happens. This is the last day of multiple baseball games in one day. The Astros and the Rangers do or die in Texas. Well, it's in Houston specifically. Game 7 of the ALCS. It'll be Max Scherzer versus Christian Javier, a rematch of Game 3. Christian Javier in that game went 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 Ks. He was pretty dominant, really, in that 5th inning. He gave up the single to Lau and then the home run to Young. So up, for 5 innings, he only gave up 1 hit, and he was great. Scherzer, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. When it comes to that, it comes down to, this young kid who's done it a lot recently. Houston's always in the mix in postseason. He stays calm. He deals. He knows his pitches. And then Max Scherzer, a crafty veteran, future Hall of Famer. He's been in Game 7s before. He's done well. But, of course, coming off of injury, it's going to be a second start. How long can he go? How good can that bullpen be? Who's going to be the guys that step up? Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager. Those are the 4 guys. Those are the names that but it's not going to come down to just those 4 guys. It's going to come down to the guys underneath. Can Kyle Tucker finally produce and do something? Yesterday it was Mitch Garver and Jonah Heim. Who's it going to be today, right? They need the full team today. Will it be Josh Young? Will it be Nathaniel Lau? Will it be Simeon? He's been pretty quiet for Texas, right? Someone's going to have to step up. Someone's going to have to be the difference in this game. This is a Game 7 worth watching. Winner with a trip to the World Series. And then also today, before even that game, this is the 5 o'clock game, NLCS, Arizona versus Philly. We're back in Philly with the electric crowd, and we have a rematch of Game 2 with Aaron Nola versus Merrill Kelly. Nola in that game was 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 7 Ks. Merrill Kelly, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. Kelly wasn't bad, just gave up a couple of solo shots. But Nola, on the other hand, has been great. This postseason, he is 3-0 in 3 games. 18 2/3 innings pitched, in which he struck out 19 batters, has only given up 2 earned runs, in an ERA of 0.96. So if Arizona wants to force this Game 7, they're going to have to find a way to get through Nola. They're going to have to fight the Philly crowd, and Kelly's going to have to be able to hold down guys like Harper, Turner, even Castellanos back at home. He might be more of a problem here. Arizona needs to win this one to stay alive, to force that Game 7, and they need their guys to step up. You know, it can't just be Marte. Carroll needs to get some hits now. Christian Walker's been pretty quiet. You know, Gurriel, Alec Thomas, those guys have been great in the series. Can they continue? You know, who at the bottom of the lineup's going to produce? Who in that back end's going to, you know, get out of a jam late in the game? I think the big key is holding Philly early. If you let Philly get off to a hot start, that crowd's going to be electric, and it's going to be hard to battle back in this one. If there is a way where Arizona wins today, Game 7 in a do-or-die for the NLCS will be tomorrow. It is currently TBD versus TBD, but it will likely be the Game 3 rematch of Ranger Suarez versus Brandon Pfaadt. And that will set up the World Series. So regardless, tomorrow we will have the World Series matchup. Both series are coming to an end either today or tomorrow. Hey, if the Phillies win today, we have our World Series matchup, whether it'll be Phillies Rangers or Phillies Astros for a rematch. Regardless, we'll have it. Game 1 of the World Series is on Friday, which will be when the next episode is. So I will be reviewing 2 or 3 games that day. We'll be finishing up the ALCS and NLCS. We'll talk about the Game 7, Game 6, and possibly other Game 7. And then we'll do a World Series preview between the two teams and get ready for the beginning of the World Series. So that's the plan going forward. Next episode on Friday. But that is going to do it for us today. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend of postseason baseball. We're coming down to the wire. Even right now, if the World Series goes 7 games and Arizona wins today, that means we only have 10 days of baseball left, and it can be done as early as in 6 games of baseball. So somewhere between 6 to 10 baseball games left of the year. So embrace it, enjoy each one, because we'll be coming to an end real soon. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening, and I will see you guys on Friday.